Welcome to the Shaping Portsmouth podcast. Shaping Portsmouth is a collaboration of key Portsmouth businesses transforming Portsmouth together. Today's podcast is hosted by our CEO, Dave Humphries. Okay, so welcome everyone to this Shaping Portsmouth podcast. Today I am joined by Marian Glover, who is our business pillar lead. Hi, Marian.
Hi, Dave.
And also Imogen, Hambry, who is our student intern for the summer.
A youth consultant.
Youth consultant.
Official title.
Yeah.
Hi, Imi.
Title. Hi.
Imi, how have you ended up working for Shaping Portsmouth for the summer?
So back in year 10, I ended up doing my work experience. So I was really interested. I took business studies at GCSE. I was really interested in that. So obviously wanted to do something with that in my work experience. So I went to my school and I was like, look, I want to have something to do with business. I don't know where I want to go. I was like, I don't know where the first place to start. And I got put in contact with Shaping Portsmouth. And from there, I did 2 weeks of work experience and absolutely adored it.
We loved you. We refused to let you go.
I just loved the layout of everything, the way everyone worked, the close-knit community of it, just everything like that. And then I was very lucky to be given a work experience placement back last year for year 10 summer. And it was an amazing opportunity. It helped me loads with my business GCSE because obviously I actually got an insight into how a business worked. So that gave me the upper hand as well. And I absolutely adored it again. And then again, I was even more lucky to come back again this summer. And it's amazing being working with Kirsty on the education sector. Obviously, last year I helped Marian with the cruise and stuff like that. It's been really fun.
Great. So tell us a bit about yourself. So how old are you, Imi?
So I'm 16 years
You're
old.
16, so you've just finished your GCSEs.
Yeah,
just
just
left Trafalgar School.
Yeah, just left.
So what's your plan now? So come September, where are you going to be?
So I'm going to the City of Portsmouth College at the sixth form campus and I'm taking economics, business studies and marketing. I'm hoping to, in the future, go into project management because that's something that I'm really interested in. And then maybe in university taking international business to do a year in Australia.
Wow. So what are you going to hope to do out there?
So the course is you do a work placement out in Australia,
Right.
and then you get to learn like the difference between what business is like in the UK, what businesses are like in Australia. So it's the different, like how different businesses work, like the different cultures, obviously, different currencies, how they're used and stuff like that, which I'm really interested in.
Cool. So it's going to be really interesting to follow your journey out there and what you learn, and maybe we'll have to talk to you again.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
But it all started, the connection with Shaping Portsmouth all started with work experience.
Yeah.
So before we even talk about what you're doing as an intern, how did you find the work experience?
So I know lots of students at my school were struggling to find work experience. I know quite a lot of companies either didn't have the health and safety to do it because obviously now all the rules have changed, or weren't safeguard checked, and lots of students that wanted to do the job that they wanted to do couldn't find a placement. So I tried on my own. I went to loads of different companies and they just said they really couldn't take me because of the age that I was or the hours that I needed to do. And luckily I went to my school and they had contacts, and with that Miss Passmore, the teacher that did all the work experience, she was like, look, I've got this company called Shaping Portsmouth, we can put you in contact. So I emailed and then they said, yeah, we can do that, and it was an amazing opportunity. But I know loads of students in my year did struggle.
So what do you so you obviously came and worked for Shaping, then did your work experience. What did you get out of doing work experience? What did you learn from that experience?
Like, there's things that can't be taught in a classroom. Like, you can't teach someone how a work placement works because of the fact that a work placement is experience. I got experience, and that is worth pennies more than it is in GCSEs. You sit there and you learn, and you can only learn so much. Whereas going into the actual work placement, you learn to work with people, you learn the experience of different skill sets, how to talk to people. Whereas a teacher can't stand up and say, right, okay, this is how you go to a business meeting, this is how you deliver it. You have to be able to witness that, and that's the experience that I was able to get, and I'm very grateful for that.
So obviously work experience is something that we hear really mixed experiences about where people have had placements that have just not worked, they've not done anything, or schools that don't even take part in work experience. So some people don't get that opportunity at all. But from what you're saying, you think it's absolutely worth doing.
I definitely think work experience is worth doing, especially when you're going into year 10 and you're going into your last year of doing GCSEs. That's when schools sort of pressure down on what you want to do in the future, and lots of students don't have an idea of what they want to do. And I feel like work experience gives you that opportunity of, oh, maybe I do want to be a teacher when I'm older. Oh, I think I want to be a vet. And it gives you that idea of, actually, lots of students that I know wanted to be teachers, and they went to a school and realised, actually, that's not for me. But they've had that experience instead of going into university, doing the course and everything like that, and then going into the actual world and being like, actually, I don't really like teaching, or I don't really like teaching year 1, but maybe I want to teach secondary school or nursery. And like, I know friends of mine went to go in to do veterinarian. They didn't know if they wanted to do that, but they ended up getting a work experience there and they loved it. And now I've got a friend of mine that's taking veterinarian in college and she's absolutely loving it.
Brilliant. And I suppose sometimes it's also not just about that specific skills. It's just about experiencing a workplace and
First-hand
understanding
experience,
how it
workplace
works.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So before we talk about internships, Marianne, we have a program that's called Youth Employment.
Yes.
It's something that we've taken on as a program as a result of the youth cabinet approaching us.
Yeah.
And talking about the lack of opportunities for young people, and we're talking about the 14 to 17-year-old age group here,
Yeah.
young people to be able to get jobs. So what have they told us? What have the Youth Cabinet said?
So the Youth Cabinet's consultations with young people in the city revealed that there are 91% of young people in the city who have never been in paid employment. And out of those 91, that there's 67 who have actually wanted to work, who wanted to go into the workplace and actually get a job. But there are no opportunities for them. They haven't found those opportunities.
So, 67% of young people that have never had a job want one, essentially,
That's exactly
and the opportunities are not there. So obviously I can reflect back to when I was growing up and the range of different jobs I had between 14 and 17. From a paper round to working in a petrol station to working a summer job in a factory,
to retail.
All sorts of opportunities that existed
Yeah.
that just don't seem to be there now. So we've set up the Youth Employment Programme.
Yeah.
We are looking for businesses that would be willing to give young people an opportunity to work.
Yeah. So basically, shaping Portsmouth, we want to be the between businesses who want to give young people these opportunities, but don't necessarily know what exactly the process is and what exactly goes into it. Because a lot of businesses feel like it might be it might be too much work for them to basically get that young person in. And that's not always the case. So what Shaping Portsmouth wants to do, we want to be the in-between where we can provide reliable information to businesses to say to them, look, these are the steps that you need to take to be able to get a young person to come in and work for you. And also for the young people as well, to get them to write their CVs and to bring out those skills that they don't know that they actually have. Maybe they have, they've done some sort of voluntary work or something somewhere. They don't know that those skills are transferable. So basically, we're going to be the in-between, or Shaping Portsmouth is trying to be the in-between between those businesses and the young people in the city.
Yeah, excellent. So there's two parts to it: supporting the young people, supporting the businesses.
Right.
A lot of businesses have cited all of the hoops that you have to jump through as a bit of a bar, but actually having researched it with the council permit team, it isn't that difficult. What they need to do to get the permit, and that's where we can come in and
support
help
them. Yes,
brilliant. So there are clearly a range of jobs that young people just can't do. There's kind of like a banned list, which is available on. I think we've got a link to it,
yes, we do.
But it's on the government website as well, and I think the city council as well. It lists those jobs that people can't do, or young people can't do. But there's so much that they can. Yeah. But there are a number of businesses that will say to us, but but we don't work outside office hours, and young people are at school, so we therefore can't employ people. And that's when internships come in.
Hello.
Hey, back to you, Imi. So we've given you a job for the summer period.
Yeah, but the difference was I had it in year 10, so I was still in school when I had the intern. So obviously I've left now, so I'm not tied down to school, but I will be tied down to college. But for 6 or so weeks when the school holidays are off, that's brilliant. You know, young people, 9 times out of 10, most young people don't know what to do with their summer holidays. And I know that sounds so silly, but it is. Sometimes you're just sat around, and I know with summer holidays beforehand, I was just sat around not having anything to do, whereas I've been able to go in, I've been able to work, I've been able to get that experience, because that's the main thing. You know, when students go looking for jobs when they finish their GCSEs, I know lots of friends can't find jobs because they turn around and say, well, you don't have any experience in any jobs, and it's the cycle of people turn them down because they don't have the experience. But how are they supposed to get the experience
if you're not giving them the opportunity?
Exactly. And at the age of 15, 16, you're like, your brain's like a sponge. You're going to absorb everything. You're going to want every single opportunity. So being able to offer a 15, 16, 17-year-old this job is amazing. And you're not just tied down to school times, because the fact that there is that 6 weeks where you can offer a young person that job, and it's an amazing opportunity for them.
Absolutely. So for those businesses that don't offer opportunities outside of office hours, that summer period, and in fact any of the holiday periods, are a great opportunity for you to give young people an opportunity at quite a reasonable rate, because the pay scales are quite affordable, so that we're easily able to employ you, and actually it helps us cover some of the gaps where people are taking holidays over the summer. So it's a win-win. We get some help at a peak time when we need it, and you get an opportunity of employment experience. So what are you doing all summer at Shaping? What does your role look like?
So at the minute I'm working with Kirsty predominantly on the education sector, which is something that I clicked with back the first time that I came. So the first time I ever did this intern, I worked on all the different pillars, but predominantly I really fell in love with the education sector, purely because that's just something, as a young person myself, that helps young students get into work placements. So I help her with the Explore Your Future programme, which is, when I first started, it was actually starting up to begin with. So it's sort of like I sort of helped, in my view-ish, I sort of helped build it a little bit. So going into schools and delivering those programs has been amazing. And this time I've been able to do it because where I finished in year 11, obviously you have that little period where schools are still running after I finished my GCSE. So I was actually able to go and deliver sessions, which I wasn't able to last year, because obviously in the 60s holidays, it's really hard because of the fact that schools closed. So being able to see students' faces and how interested they were in these Explore Your Future programs, and I have seen it before in my own school in Trafalgar, because obviously I saw it delivered the first time, and that was really important because we did it with a spinnaker, and that was really cool. And I had loads of students come up to me afterwards, and it's like, oh, what company was that? That was really cool. And they were like, oh, we went to the Spinnaker Tower, and we were talking to them, and we met the people there, and it was just seeing them really thrive and stuff like that. And loads of them went ahead and did their work experience, some of them there, and all found their career that they wanted to do. So from what a small session, they were really intrigued in different businesses.
And so, as you say, last summer you had a bit of a taste of a kind of a wide range of all the different things that Shaping does. This year you're working very specifically with Kirsty and on her pillar programs and supporting her with that work. How have you found it different in terms of the way you're working and having that relationship with Kirsty and her programs?
I think it's different. Obviously, being able to just be focused on one program, you feel more engrossed. Whereas last year, I was sort of doing all the different programs. So obviously, I was doing with the cruise. So some days I was down at the port, and I loved that. I loved working on the cruise and seeing all the guests come off the boat. But also, I just felt like I couldn't really connect with just one pillar, because obviously I was doing all the different ones, whereas this year it's been so nice to just connect with that one pillar that I really enjoy anyways. So being able to help Kirsty with just education, and obviously I do help with other pillars, but predominantly education, and especially like when it's more my age group and my age range that I'm helping with.
You did attend the net zero session as well with me the other day.
I did,
really
yeah.
good.
That was really really eye opening.
Yeah, and then you gave us your opinion on some of the things that we're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll be building something off of that as well.
Yeah, I really hope we do too.
Yeah.
So, and that's a really good point, Marian, because we've talked a bit now about what Imi's got out of work experience and the internship, but what do we get out of it? What
so much. Her point of view and Imogen has a view on everything. Her point of view on everything. So she came with us to the net zero workshop that we had on our climate program, and there was a point where we were discussing the effects basically of carbon dioxide in the environment, and I literally just turned and looked at Imogen and was thinking about how we can basically take that program and that workshop into schools and talking to young people, because what we do at Shaping Portsmouth is try to transform. We say we transform Portsmouth together, but going into schools and talking to young people and educating them on those things while they're at that age, I feel like it's very, very important. And Imogen, of course, is like, yes, absolutely, love this idea. And yeah, looking for ways to take it forward. Yeah.
What can I say? I'm a geography GCSE student. Don't say I don't use my GCSEs.
So yeah, and I suppose, with our ongoing mission around transforming Portsmouth together, why would you not include a youth voice
exactly in that? And that's why I love the programs and what we do is constantly evolving and reacting to things, and it's just amazing.
So for businesses, youth employment is not just about giving someone the opportunity to have a job, but it's actually getting a different perspective into your business and actually listening to the voice of the people that are going to be our future right now, and getting that young person's perspective, because
absolutely.
We've certainly learned as much from Imi as she's learning from us. So great. So what does the future look like for you, Imogen? What's your plan? We know obviously you've talked about what course you're doing and going off to Australia, but what are you going to do with all of that? What any ideas where your career's going to go yet?
I am hoping to go into project management. I know that's sort of a big dream, but I've always said that I wanted to go into project management. It's something that's always really interested me. From doing a day in my school, we had PD days in Trafalgar, which we did a professional dress day. So it was we had to do an interview, we had to write our CVs, we wore professional dress. And that was really that was a life skill that I learned from that as well. And that's why I was really happy to have PD days in Trafalgar. And we had to write our CV and we had to narrow down what we wanted to do. So obviously I didn't really know. I wanted to do something in the business world because obviously I clicked with business studies. I never wanted. I always wanted to be a vet when I was little. And then I ended up taking business studies in GCSE and everything changed. I was like, my goodness, I actually fell in love with what we were learning. I really thrived with it. And I was like, actually, I don't think I want to be a vet when I'm older. I think I want to go something into business. So talking to teachers and stuff, they were like, I think you'd thrive in project management. And obviously these are the teachers that know me. So I just went, yeah. And I looked into it a little bit more when I got home and I was like, this is something that I want to go into. So I'm hoping I'll find myself in project management one day.
And cool. And, the beauty of what you're doing is it's all stuff that actually gives you a whole range of options. You're not at all limited, So, you mentioned the Explore Your Future program, and I could introduce you to lots of business leaders who are now doing something that's completely different to what they originally set out to do. And, you never know where life's going to take you, but no, a good grounding, and we'll definitely watch with interest. So, January, you were up on stage at the conference.
And she was funny and we loved it. She was so good.
You spoke on stage. How did you find that? How was that, getting up in front of sort of
over 400 people?
450.
Really?
I think 450 business leaders in the room. How did you find being on stage?
Yeah, I didn't know there was that many in the room until I got off stage and my dad told me that there was that many in the room. Luckily, the lights were really bright, so I could not see anyone but Hayden, which I was very thankful for. It's very different to what I've done in school. I did performing arts in school, so I've been up on stage, but again, the lights just sort of hide you from everyone and you're playing a character, you're not yourself. But yeah, I think going up there, obviously I knew Hayden beforehand, which helped massively, and it just sort of felt like we were having a little chit chat on a stage, and I just pretended that no one was there until I got off, and my dad was like, yeah, you do know there was 450 businesses on the and I was like, oh, was there? I thought there was just you and the shaping team. That's all I just imagined. But yeah, I was very nervous, but I think getting up and doing it, and I was really proud of myself afterwards, and it was something that I was passionate talking about, and I felt like the businesses needed to hear from a young person's point of view as well, because it's all well and good everyone telling businesses, but I think as well the difference is if you're hearing it from someone that's experienced in it, I think it's sort of from a different point of view.
Yeah, definitely. And you certainly did a fabulous job.
Did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did an amazing job. You represented young people on stage there really, really well. So obviously come January, I've got to get
probably have her to host the entire thing.
Host the entire thing.
She's coming for your job now, Dave.
Any tips for me in terms of getting
just don't
on
let
that
anyone
stage?
tell you how many businesses there are.
I'm gonna know that figure.
Make sure you get a mic that works. Don't trust Steph if he gives you a mic, and just make sure it works before you go on stage, instead of going up there, start talking, and someone shouts, "We can't hear you."
Okay, right, the tech stuff. Okay, useful. Right, so in our podcasts, we're asking our guests, because obviously here at Shaping Portsmouth, we're passionate about Portsmouth and our ongoing mission to transform the city together. But so we ask people what their little tip for somewhere to go or something to do in Portsmouth is. So have you got a favourite place? It can be somewhere you like to go. It could be something you like to do. It could be a place you like to go for a meal. It could be anything. As long as it's in Portsmouth, what would be your one recommendation for people to go and do something in Portsmouth?
I would say Gunwharf Quays.
See, that was my recommendation. That was my recommendation as well, yeah.
It's only because, obviously it's not just one place. You just don't go there to do one thing. Obviously, you've got the cinema there. So, you could plan a whole day just around Gunwharf Quays.
And you also saw the new Deadpool and Wolverine
I
this
did
weekend
see
as well.
the new Deadpool and Wolverine. That was very good.
About that
but obviously, and the transport links there are amazing with the train station, obviously, and the bus. Yeah. So, obviously, if you don't even drive, you can just get the bus or the train down, depending on which one suits you best. So, obviously, you can go down to Gunwharf, you can watch a movie, go out to eat. Obviously, all the outlets as well. As a person who obviously is a young person, so I don't have obviously I've got an income coming here, but obviously I've got friends that don't really. So obviously with all the outlet prices, it's really good. So I do like going to Gunwharf, and I'm a foodie person, so I like all the different restaurants there.
Yeah, we love Gunwharf Quays. Yeah.
Cool. And so finally, to finish off, Marian, our youth employment programme, obviously we've mentioned that we're after businesses that want to give young people a chance, and whether that's internship work or part-time weekend or evening work. So if you're a business owner listening to this and you're thinking to yourself, hey, do you know what? I can help out there. I could give a young person a job. What do we need them to do?
Go on our website and contact us, basically. All the information is there. Or you can contact us via our social media platforms as well. You can contact me personally, my email address. All our details and contact information is on our website.
Brilliant. And we will quite happily have a chat with anyone.
Yes,
We're not asking people to phone up and give a firm commitment.
No.
We're asking people, come and have a chat. We could talk about what it looks like.
What it takes, exactly.
What's needed, how it might work. We can advise, we can put businesses in touch with the right people at the council to get their permit and help them through that. And we can match businesses up with young people that have already given us a CV looking for a job.
Yeah,
so.
that's correct. Fantastic.
Brilliant. Yeah. So thank you both for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for your recommendation of Gunwharf Quays from a young person's perspective. And we'll see you all next time on the Shaping Portsmouth podcast.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
This podcast was brought to you by Shaping Portsmouth, working to make Portsmouth the #1 UK city in which to invest, live, learn, work and visit. To find out more, please visit shapingportsmouth.co.uk. This podcast was supported by Spark Community Space.